What's up, guys? Welcome to Turf Talks. Today's topic, we're going to be talking about building a stronger skier and my 4 favorite moves to do so. So when you think about skiing, while you have skis on both my legs will be doing something very different. So depending on which leg is downhill, one leg might be up here, one leg might be fully extended, and I need to be both strong and stable in this single leg pattern. So something like a back squat, while there's some good implements to it, very rarely am I going to be outside of my tuck, really, with both feet getting equal force and kind of absorption. So even if I am in a tuck, I might hit a little bump on this side, a little bump on that side. So I need to be able to absorb force differently and apply force differently on both legs. So when we're talking about building strength for our skiers, we're going to do a lot of unilateral type patterns, single leg type patterns, or asymmetrical stances. So the first one we're going to talk about is a split squat, excuse me. So we're going to load it in this goblet position. And our split stance just means one foot is going to be in front of the other. So what I want to think about is both feet facing straight ahead, just like I do have my skis on. I don't want this foot facing out here, because if I start training this way, I'm going to catch an edge and go that way. So both feet straight ahead. I'm going to keep my chest up nice and tall, lower down, come right back up. From the side view, I want to, again, make sure my chest is up nice and tall. I always want to get in a little bit of a stretch in this back leg, lower right down, come right back. So again, this is actually a bilateral, meaning 2-leg squat pattern, but with my asymmetrical stance, it's going to bias my front leg differently than my back leg. Moving right into my second pattern, we're going to go a little bit more of a hinge with a single leg Romanian deadlift. So what we're going to train this one today is I'm going to stand on my left leg, hold the weight in my right, whether it be a kettlebell, a dumbbell, doesn't really matter, but I'm going to keep my chest up nice and tall, slight bend in my working leg, and then I'm just going to hinge straight down, a little bit of a stretch in that hamstring, that glute, and then come right back up. Hinge right down, come right back up. So our side facing view, I'm keeping my chest up. I want to think about my hip and my leg and my trunk moving kind of symmetrically. So I don't want this leg to be dragging. I want to make sure that I'm kicking this back leg up and then coming back up, keeping my shoulders and my hips nice and square. So what that's going to be doing is loading up that glute, that hamstring, which is where all our power comes from. And being single leg, it's going to require a lot of stability as well. So we're still building our strength in that single leg pattern, but also focusing on our stability. Our third move, we're going to load it back up in a goblet position, just to bias the quads a little bit more. And we're going to go into reverse lunges. So I'm going to end up in the same position as my split squat. The difference is I'm starting up both feet together, then I step back and then come back together. Step back, come back together. So if you look at kind of where I pause at the bottom, this is just my split squat, right? So the difference is now just that little extra movement is just kind of changing it, making it a little bit more dynamic and kind of still loading up that glute, those quads, all of that stuff. Our fourth movement, we're gonna grab a sled. So if you think about skiing, it is very much an eccentrically loaded sport, but it's really more about how much force I can absorb than how much force I can apply. But a great way to still train our muscles, our legs, in a single leg pattern is our sled push. So what we're gonna do is take our sled, I'm gonna get set up kind of in this forward lean position. I like the hands kind of right up by the chest. And then all I'm going to be doing is focusing about driving back and getting long. So I don't want to cut my stride short. I really want to extend, squeeze that glute, get that butt going, and then drive, drive, drive. And so I like loading this up heavy. I'm kind of thinking about more of like a power walking pace. So it doesn't have to be super slow. There's a time and a place for sprinting with it, with lightweight as well. But when we're building our single leg strength, I like loading the sled up heavy and working on that marching glute extension. So those are my 4 moves. Quick recap. We had our split squat, our single leg Romanian deadlifts, our reverse lunges, and our sled pushes. You can load them up really however you want. I can take my split squats, load them up goblet style. I can load them up contralaterally or ipsilaterally. They're all going to do different things. Load the tissues just a little bit differently. So I don't necessarily care how you load them in, load them up, but I would incorporate these 4 moves to become a stronger skier. If you want to know more and learn how I implement these into my programming, head on over to adventureathleteperformance.com. Catch you guys later.